Shalom, welcome to Kabbalah Academy. Today we're going deep. Some point for TikTok it will stop, and I advise you, the viewer, if you're truly interested in authentic Kabbalah, to sign up for school.com/Yirah. That's where you start to learn authentic Kabbalah for the Western world. It's the only place to be. The only place. There's none else that qualifies to teach at this level, in various levels, each to its level, but authentic and clean Kabbalah. No Western stuff. Likutei Yirah 9, this sefer for all the prerequisites, and the only sefer that expounds upon the Lashon HaKodesh, which was not available until certain years ago. Okay? So, today's about the Ibur, which is a pregnancy. Pregnancy, you think of a physicality, and we'll treat physical aspects thereof, and through the words thereof, you'll find that we are speaking about spiritual matters, highly spiritual matters, because all the physical is just a low representation of the spiritual matters. The word is Ibur. Ibur. And this is found in the Zohar, found in writings of the sages, found in many places. Let us start with a source by the Arizal, none less than the Arizal, in Apples from the Orchard. So, Apples from the Orchard, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, the Arizal. Page 860. Okay? The tenfold of Elohim. Now God blesses the leader of every generation with wisdom concomitant with the collective refinement of the generation. Therefore, when Israel sinned in the incident of the golden calf, they caused their leader Moses to regress to fetal consciousness and lose whatever lights he had achieved until then. He was thus bereft of his suckling and mature consciousness and was left only with fetal consciousness. Okay, this is important. Hold on to that thought. Here, thus Moses regressed and re-entered. In example, re-impregnated Ima. You can see here, Ibur. Ibur is the original language. So re-impregnated Ima, which is termed Jubilee. The name Havaya in this verse signifies the Parzuf of Ima. This is the mystical meaning of the phrase, and God became angry with me. Well, there's more Ibur here, and over many places we'll read more sources later. Getuch, Gavel, Hatabur. Hatabur, that is to cut off the cord of the navel. Okay, and we already see that to cut off has the value of 444. And 444 is the milui of Chaya, Chet, Yud, and Hey. 418 and 20, 438 and 6 is 444. Now, Hatabur is interesting also. The navel has a value of 222. It's namely 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 2 is 16, plus 6 is 22, plus 200 is 222. And 222 is the value of bracha. It's also the value of firstborn, which is interesting. And bracha are the first letters of Bina, the mother, Reshis, which hint at Chochma, and Keter, which is the crown. Okay? So these are considered as Yud-Hey. The crown is tip of the Yud, the Reshis Chochma is the base of the Yud, and the Hey is Bina. Yud-Hey. You'll see why we'll need that a little later. The sum total of to cut off the chord of the navel is 706, which is the value of the Eitzem Basar, from bones and flesh. From bones, flesh. Okay? So this is about a physical baby, a physical birth, right? A navel cord cut through. We call it umbilical cord, but in Hebrew it's a navel cord. Okay, so what else did we have? Because if we leave the cutting off out for a minute, we just take the biblical cord. We have Chabel HaTibur. And Chabel HaTibur is interesting because it has a value of 262, which is the value of Dalet Haran. And Haran, 258, is the place where we are hinted at the Ibur. Okay? But what we know is that the Ibur, it is really the Netzach, Hoid, and Yesoid of Ima, right? These are, this is the reproduction organ, right? And these are the ovaries in the tree. So each having the light of Elohim is 86, 86, 86 times 3 is 258. And from Haran, Dalet is a path without walls. Okay? So that's a pregnancy. And the Chochmah, Bina, and Das of Zerampin are developed within there. And that's what we just read about Moshe having to re-establish something, which I will expound upon in the end of the video, which is only for those who are part of school. Okay, so what else do we see which aligns completely? Because if we look at this word, the Hey is within, the Tet is a 9, and the ninth downwards, which is the 6th day, but the ninth Sephirah downwards is, let us go to the board, Keter, Chochmah, Bina, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesoid, and Malchut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is the ninth downwards. That is Yisod, that is the reproductive organ. Okay? Reproductive organ, and these are the ovaries. And with the male, these are the testicles, and that be the reproduction organ of the male. So 86, 86, 86. So you see, this is the ninth day, right? And Bor means pit. And the pit is Yisod, right? Also Yisod. It's also a Yisod. Interesting thing that Tet Reish are in the, it's very interesting to take a look at that in Sefer Likutei Yirah 9. Because here you already have it, the album cipher. See, this is the standard cipher we work by. And then you see here the Tet and the Reish. The Tet and the Reish sit in the socket of Hoid, right? Left side. Left side. That's here. And that hints at the left column, which is Ima. Okay? Din, judgment, left side. So this Ibur, this creation through Elohim, already shows us, right? Goes on a path without walls, yet from the left side, right? And there's a deficiency in this, and that reflects, it shows in the lower physicality also. Okay, so, and that's what Moshe, the Raimahem, the faithful shepherd, has to restore to the Ibur. We'll get there bit by bit. We're going to the next word, which is not a Hebrew word, but an English word, birth. Okay, so I took the bait for the B, a yud for the I, resh for the R, a taf for the T, and an H, hey for the H, sorry. And we can see many things in here already because yud taf has a lot of meanings there. It's written in Bereshit, Berosh, yud taf, 410 lights. Beit, resh, and hey are the restitutional letters then, if you take the utaf out, which value 207, which is or, so it's 410 lights exactly, that's precise, expressed in the hey, which is the lower hey, so yut, hey, vav, hey, okay, because the birthing, the bringing forth is in the lower hay, so to say. So we also can repermutate this to Brit hay. It's the covenant of hay, right? There's a covenant there. There's a covenant. It's an inescapable situation. You get pregnant to bring it down to Peshat level, and then you will bring forth into the lower hay new life. And that's why here to cut off the cord is when life becomes independent of the mother. And what happens if we square birth, the word birth, that's very interesting because we get an ordinal value of 5 times 2 is 10, 4 times 10 is 50, 3 times 20 is 60, 110. It is 160, 159, but in Kollel 160 for the unity is the value, namely, of 8. And man is a 3. Man is a 3. If you bring that 8 in Kollel, it is also 161, which is the value of Soif Yud Hey, the end of Yud Hey, right? Because the navel, connected to the navel, that was its Yud Hey. All the Shefa, the flow, the nourishment came from the mother, from within, and she should carry that light of the Father, right? That Yud, that seed, that is the Yud. So that's precise. So being cut off is being cut off from where? From the placenta being the Sheva. Now, Hevel, I will keep this for the last part of the video. I think that is a better idea. We'll proceed to the full gematria because this is 5 plus 2 times 400, 800 plus 600 plus 40 plus 10 is 1455, which is 456. If we break down the 1000, which is a capital Aleph, and you make a small Aleph of it, which is in Kabbalah not uncommon, you get 456. And 456 is namely 453 is Melech HaMashiach, King Messiah, plus a 3 for Gimel, progress, 3 Sefirot, okay? Because the repair, what was the language here? To re-impregnate Ima, right? Becoming pregnant again with me, which was the Ibur. So we have all the language in there, in an English word, for that matter even. So Melech HaMashiach is found there, and we already said it. We have here the 86, 86, 86 as on the board, okay? So there was 258. If we add 3 yuds, because it is really the adding to Atzil, right? Yud He Vav He. If we add 3 yuds, you get 288, which is the value of Ibur. Okay, so 3 yuds, the Av. 3 yuds, the Av. And 86 plus 10 is 96, which is Yud He Vav He Ha Adonai. the Lord. So, but meaning to say, Abba in Malchut, right? In kingship. So, because now we are in a deficient state where we are under the laws of Tov and Ra, and the system will stay there for those who don't undergo the Ibur. But let us look at the placenta. So the word for placenta, sheli, shel yud hey, with yud hey. So that was here, connected to yud hey. As I told you, the navel, right? The navel is connected to yud hey through the umbilical cord. So when you cut it off, that's soif yud hey, like I said, soif, the end of yud hey. But when we're still connected to the placenta, and this is why the word for placenta is a permutation of Shiloh. And Shiloh is a name for the Messiah. And let us go to a source that speaks about Shiloh. And that is found in Zohar book 1 Bereshis A, verse 234. It says here, let us read it all. Another explanation of the phrase plant of the field is the first Messiah, who was not yet on earth, whereas herb of the field is the second Messiah, because Moshe was not there with them to serve the Shekhinah. Of him it is written, and there was not a man to till the ground. The secret is given in the verse, the staff shall not depart from Judah, Bereshis 49:10, which refers to Messiah ben David, nor the scepter from between his feet, which refers to Messiah ben Yosef, until Shiloh comes. Until Shiloh comes is an allusion to Moshe, as the numerical value of Moses is the same as that of Shiloh, and the obedience of his people be his. Okay? Let that sink in. And here you see it in Hebrew, Aramaic. Ad ki yavo Shiloh da Moshe. Shiloh, 345, 345. It's talking about the faithful shepherd. And then 2 pages further in Apples from the Orchard again. Only afterwards my servant will prosper. This refers to Moshe. This prophecy also refers to the Messiah. This is not a contradiction, since the numerical value of Shiloh is the same of that of Moses' name. We just went through that. Furthermore, our sages stated that whatever pertains to the first Redeemer, in example Moses, pertains to the final Redeemer, in example the Messiah, and that the generation that passes away is the same as the generation that is to come. Okay? And our last source here, before we go back to the board, and we'll make an end to the video for TikTokers. Book 20, Pinchas, Zohar, verse 54 starts speaking about the Ibur, but it's really 55 where we want to look at. Let us read the English first. And this was why Moshe said, and Hashem was angry, Vayitaber, with me for your sakes. Devarim 3:26. And this is the secret of the conception, Hebrew Ibur. For Malchut conceived by the soul of Moshe, the faithful shepherd saved 60,000 souls in Israel a number of times, for he incarnated. For this reason, the Holy One, blessed be He, ascribed to Moshe the merit of all of them. And this is why the sages thought one woman in Egypt brought forth in one womb 600,000 at one birth, because Moshe, the Raimhemna, elevated state, whether you call that Shiloh, these names give us certain happenings and parts of the processes and Ibur and many secrets around them. But do not be deceived. It's all connected. These are not simpleton stories about some figures, right, that were in the past. This is about you now. What are you gonna do, right? So, and this was why Moshe said, and Hashem was angry. So, we have the wordings here, Vayitaber, and Vayitaber is a permutation, cherufable. You see it there. It has the iron base. Let me see my finger. Iron base. These two letters before the last one. That is Av, that's 72. That's the 72 name. And then it has restitutional, Tav, Vav, Resh, Yud, which is not Torah, but Tori. And that is the Torah of Atzilus, right? The Torah of Yud. Its value also is 616, which is Ha-Torah, the Torah, okay? Absolutic Torah. First, you be a fire offering to Hashem on the 8th day, which is the mother, Bariatic Torah. You prepare your vessel, you receive an Ibur, and you are ready to receive the Torah of Atzilut, Torah of Mashiach, okay, the Raya Mehemna. This goes through the Ibur process. That is objective reality. Now, one womb, all, right? One woman in Egypt brought forth in one womb 600,000 at one birth. Now, the 1,000 hits at level Atzilut here, and the 600 is Yisrael, 541, plus Goyim, 559, right? 541 plus 59 is 600, and 1 is Echad. So 600 plus Echad is 613, which is the value of Beyirat or Betorah, housed in the Torah, housed in awe, for he who is in awe fulfills all of the law, and he who is not in awe fulfills none of the law. Okay? It's all about awe. Okay, seeing the divine, seeing the creator in everything through the letters, the Lashon, right? The Aleph Tav. He garbed himself, Et Haor, right? He garbed himself in letters. So if you are watching this on TikTok, I advise you to school.com/Yirah. Get yourself a copy of Likutei Yirah 9. If you cannot afford a physical copy, we provide you with a free PDF. Just PM me and I will be happy to help you. Okay? So, and then many blessings till the next video. So, above the Lurianic is called a video by Yirah, available on this channel, school.com. Okay? It teaches us about the Ibur, and we just went through it. So you can clearly see, I'll take away the 86 here, otherwise it gets too messy. So that's where it all takes place, right? So to explain what it means that it's the lights of Iman, that Iman created without Abba, it is a very simple once you know it. It is as follows. It says 86 lights, right? That's why it's the 258. The pregnancy of Ima without Abba means the following. So we have the names of Av, the 72 names, but we have a 72. We have a 63. We have a 45 and a 52. We'll be needing these three today. Okay? And the 72 originates from Abba. It sits in the right column. The 63 is Sag. So this would be Av. Okay? Av. This is Sag. Originates from Ima. That's there. and the 45 ma is center, okay? So that will be found here in the Ibur process. So 72, 45, 63. And I'll show you then what Yirah taught me. Ma, what can I witness to you? What can I liken to you? So Av would be written as such. Here goes. Yud, He, Viv, He. Okay? So the value of this is exactly 72. Okay? Now, Ima created without Abba. That means the pregnant letters are these. Let me give it like this. The pregnant letters is what comes after the original. We're speaking about Yud, He, Vav, and He. These are included the lights of Abba, right? Chochma. So, Av, I should say. So now, if we count these, this would be a 6, a 4 is 10. This would be another 10. This is a 10 and a 6 is 16. And this is a 10, okay? Now we have here 40 and 6. For the space, I'll take it out. We'll just make it a little lower here. It becomes, so this was 46. That means that there's a shortage of 26, right? Because Yud He Vav He is 26. Yud He Vav He is 26. The Torah is telling us something which wasn't taught to us before Master Yirah taught this. Because what is 46, right? We all already said, B'Tselem Elokim, right? This is Tselem. Really, it's Tselemim, Levoshim, and Mochim. That is the higher Tselem, but here it's Tselemim. Tselem, Netzach, Hoid, and Yisod. Okay? In the image of Ima. So, what happens is 46. 46 plus 26 was 72. So we know we are speaking about this column. What is 46? It is the ordinal of Cain. And Cain is full gematria 160. Tselem. He's in Tselem. So we know Cain is in there, right? It's speaking about parts of the Ibur process, right? In Zerampin. So Cain is not about a figure that you have to read about that was once there. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is going to the Soid and the Penimios. So Cain is in this process of Tselomim. What is the ordinal value of Cain? This would be 19. This would be 10. And this would be 14. Makes a total of 43 plus the 3 letters of his name is 46. We have just located our Cain. So what happens? This is Cain, right? Netzach, okay? Netzach, the Netzach of Ima, Cain, B'Tselem Elokim, okay? Now we have the next one. So you had Av, okay? So let's go to Sag. You can take this out because it's already there. Now Sag was 63 and is written as such. Yud, He, Vav, He. Feel free to recalculate it. It's all precise. These are ABCs in Kabbalah. You should study them. Likutei Yirah 9 teaches all about this. This is 10. This is 10. This is 7. And this is 10. Making a total of 37. Right? And 37 is the name of his brother, Hevel. 5, 2, and 30 makes 37. Okay, so Cain was 46 of the 72, right? And then here we'll put Hevel. Hevel is 37, which is precise because these are the pregnant letters, the fillings, right? Millet, what is in the belly without the father. And that's what it's about, without the connection of the Sag. And that's what, without Av, right? Without Chochmah, without the supernal Chochmah. That is. So there's no Chai, there's no life. And this is why Moshe brings life. So now we have located Hevel, 37 plus 26, right? 63, Sag. So we know he is in there. And Hevel also hints at the Tselem. Why? Because He is 5, which are the 5 letters of Elohim. And Beis Lamed is 32. And 32 times 5, 32 paths, 22 interconnections, and 10 Sefirot times 5 is 160. This is also Tselem, right? So both Cain, which is 160 in the full gematria, as well as Hevel, hint at Tselem. So this is how we can know where it is located, and then the ordinal tell us the exact locations of these quote-unquote brothers. So the last one of 45 is a little different because it's the mother herself, and it's written as such: Yud Ha Vav Ha Yud He Vav He. So again, last practice: 1, 7, 1, and 10. That makes 10 plus 1, 11, plus 7, 18, plus 1 is 19. So 19 plus 26 is 45. Was your center column. What is 19? The mother, the womb, namely Chava. 19. So that should be clear. One layer thereof. There's many layers, okay? Torah has many layers. We just read it, the 70 interpretations of Torah. But this is like what Yitzchak Luria didn't have time to explain, and therefore he said, forget everything I ever taught you. Yirah Ha'ari has brought it down for us, right? And he did. And he brought the crown jewel, and this is life, Aleph to Tav. It teaches you how to glorify, how to see the endless. God himself in letters, right? God himself in letters. Really learning these letters, you become in awe, right? You can become in awe, and you can start to see the divine in everything, and division, and hatred, and judgment, all these things and more. This is really what it means, and that is why you read about the 613, which is the unification of Goyim and Jews. This hints at ending division, of course, and of course there's always those who choose to stay within the system of Toiv and Ra, but objective reality goes down the center column, and that's exactly what Yirah teaches. It's what we teach. And sign up for school. Probably if you're seeing this, you're already within school. I'm not sure yet whether I will put it on my YouTube. Maybe I'll put it on my YouTube for the viewers of my channel, because there's a certain there has to be a certain affiliation with the Kabbalah already to go there. Definitely not for TikTok. So, as you can see, this pregnancy, and that is why this is what the faithful shepherd does. He brings Yud He Vav He into the game, and that's why 258, which we had the three lights of Ima, 86, 86, and 86 was 258, plus 30, 3 Yuds was 288. And that's the value of Ibur. And that's also the upgrade of a Mamzer. 287 is a Mamzer, and Mamzer is a bastard who has no father. And that hints at a disconnect here from Abba. So there's no connection to the father. So 7 days under the mother, Chesed Gevuret Tiferes Netzach Yisod and Malchut. On the 8th day, Bina, your mother's Torah, a fire offering to Hashem. Bariatic Torah is oral Torah, Kabbalah, and written Torah, Tiferes, combined. Okay? Combined. That is your oila, that is your circumcision, that's your fire offering, that is your first way, right? And that goes to Masib Merkava, studying of the forms and how to rectify this and how to be lishma and in the vekas to that or yashar, that straight light. Okay, I hope that was helpful and many blessings. Until the next video. Shalom.